Hello and welcome to another episode of Horror Movie News. Today, our favorite spine-ripping alien is back, and with a kick-ass trailer, and it's tickled me in all the right ways. It's Chapter 2. The adult cast has been complete, and we'll be going over all that, as well as Linda Hamilton, my original female badass of the sci-fi genre, is back, and we've got some pics of her looking awesome. All this and so much more. It's horror movie news. Let's get into it right now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Yes, it's not a regular. Ooh, perfect. Yes.
Get the organ going.
Right? It's not a regular theme. This is actually the original theme of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Because yesterday it was its 36th anniversary, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I love that movie, so I wanted to pay a tribute, and just, oh my god, that scares me. Oh, it's so good. But anyways, welcome everybody to Horror Movie News. We are on episode 33.
Woo!
Yes, and it is Tuesday the 26th on this wonderful June day, and I am your host, Anthony Becerra, and just listen to this cadence of my
lovely.
voice. Carrie, take it away.
Hey, how's it going? Carrie Lane here.
Getting tuned to my voice.
It's okay.
All right. So let's do some quick crypt keeping.
Yes.
So where to find us? Pretty much youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network is where this lives, as well as on our website at popcorntalk.com. And if you want to contact our team here, we have our dedicated Twitter account, which is HorrorNewsPTN. And on top of that, of course, you can also find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on iTunes. And if you do find it and you like it, subscribe and also 5 stars rating, please. I would greatly appreciate it. We would all appreciate it here. And any feedback that you'd have for us or anything that you'd want to see from us, keep it proper. Okay, let's move on. So let's get started with the first segment of the show, The Abyss. Pretty much what films we've been watching. What you got, Carrie?
Well, I'm combining mine with my Crypt because I didn't really watch a lot of horror this week. I'm trying to do more, and
Okay.
I did see one, but I want it to be our Crypt, which is another segment. So
Right on. So you double dipping?
yes, which happens sometimes with some of the movies because I'm like, well, I saw it and I would recommend it. So
Okay.
it's one of those.
So do you want to tease it for now, or?
Yeah, I'll tease it for now because I'll save it for the Crypt because.
Okay,
yeah.
so you'll reveal the name for the
Yes.
crypt. All right. So I happened to watch a movie this weekend. Incident in a Ghostland, or also known as Ghostland, which was the film that we were gonna show the trailer for, but we ran out of time last week. But I told everyone to go to check it out, and I checked it out, and I really enjoyed it. It was directed by Pascal Laguerre, and he is the same director as Martyrs, which I haven't seen that yet, but watching this film, I want to go back and watch that now. Synopsis real quick. A mother of 2 young teenage daughters move into a new house from which they inherited from their aunt, and on their first night are invaded by 2 violent strangers. So just some quick overall thoughts on the film. Overall, I did like it. What I think stands out about this film is like the structure of the story and how the film plays with like withholding information, because you only see what you see, you know, and like when you watch a movie, it gives you information in a certain order, and the way that they did this like really knocked me on my ass. Like once they revealed something, and I was just like, what? Like it really took me for a loop, and
In a good surprise.
in a great
Okay.
surprise, like.
Because sometimes it happens in a movie and you're like, oh, come on.
Or sometimes
no.
you see it a mile away.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like
Okay.
it did such a good job of like subverting my knowledge of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, it pays off, and it's like a mid, like probably like 2/3 of the movie reveal. I don't know, maybe like halfway through the movie it reveals this, and you're just like, where do we go from here? Like what happens now? And at one point I lost all hope. I was like, this is not a movie that ends well. And that's what I thought. And I won't say if it ends well or if it ends bad. You have to watch it. I gotta say, I did like how it ended. Also, I thought it was gonna be very violent, because I think I remember hearing Martyrs was very like gory and violent. But I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But that's just what I thought. Like that style was like super
Yeah.
gory, you know. But like it was actually very there was some violence, but I would say it was very elegant with the violence. It
Okay.
wasn't like too gratuitous or too gory, and I could appreciate it. If you're like super into gore, it's definitely not that kind of movie.
Not as much.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
but it's like a weird, like I would describe it like a weird psychological gore in the sense where it's like just like the what the characters go through is really messed up if you like try to put yourself in their shoes and you're like, oh my god, like I can't believe this is happening. And there's also like a really cool psychological like through line that tries to dig deep, but it only goes so far. But I think it accomplishes what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
So overall, I really enjoyed it. You guys should definitely go check it out. It's called Incident in a Ghostland, or just type in Ghostland, and it should pop up. And I rented it on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it on whatever VOD system you guys use.
Actually, your comment on violence made me think. I did watch a movie this week, and it does count in a way because the director has done horror films. I saw Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, and I remember a friend who really likes horror, and he commented that it kind of had a horror vibe. And I was like, oh yeah, we talked about like the director. So it's J.A. Bayona? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Bayona?
Where?
He's from Spain.
Bayona, yeah.
Bayona.
Yeah.
So he's done The Orphanage and
Oh, I love The Orphanage.
yeah, he directed The Orphanage, and I'm like, I love that movie.
Yes.
Also, he did
Tomas.
A Monster Calls, but I didn't get to that
I haven't
one.
seen that one yet, but it's more like fantasy for like
Yeah.
young adult kind of, yeah.
A couple episodes of Penny Dreadful as well, which is cool. I don't know if I've seen those particular ones. So anyway, if you haven't seen Jurassic World, I do like that the tone of this one is kind of more like a horror movie.
Okay.
Though there's not a lot of gore. I actually wanted more because there are people that get destroyed by the dinosaurs and eaten and stuff.
Well, it's rated PG-13,
Yeah,
I
but
believe.
I
Yeah,
felt there
that's
was
fine.
more in the other ones. So they would like go to a moment and kind of cut away or something
From like the
that.
actual attack,
Yeah.
so you'll kind of like hear it in the background, like
Yeah.
guys screaming, like, "Ah!" Okay.
But that's okay. I did enjoy it. I know a lot of people were not really thrilled with it. I thought it is definitely a placeholder one. I had someone say that ahead of time because it leads to more. Though
Oh,
at
right.
the
I
very,
gotcha.
very end, they're kind of like, well, this is how things are now kind of mentality. And you kind of go, is it really? That's about the only real hang up I had. But otherwise, it's a fun ride. The characters are cool, and I do like the more horror, like scary vibe it takes.
I remember like reading a headline of an article. I didn't read it though, but I should have. I think it compared it to like a gothic, like a gothic
gothic
horror
adventure?
tale. Yeah, in a
Yeah,
sense.
it is
I was
because,
like, okay.
like, especially when they get to, there's a house that they're
Yeah,
at
that's
a
what I
lot.
was thinking. Like
And that has
it's like a
that
gothic
vibe.
house horror
Yeah.
kind of. It's interesting.
I mean, I'd say it's adventure horror-esque.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was cool. Did you get to?
I haven't seen
Okay.
it, and I'm not like too psyched to go watch it, to be honest with you.
I wasn't super. I like the last one. I was like, okay, and I love the older ones.
Yeah.
The last Jurassic World. I was like, sure.
It was.
I think I like that this one has the darker tone, and I'd be really curious to see if you like it more as well because that vibe.
Yeah, that does intrigue me more to go watch
Yeah.
it, just to see like how is it,
Not
with
su-
dinosaurs.
Yeah, not like super heavy-handed, but just like the scariness, kind of how they've achieved it a little bit in the early ones of like trying to hide from the dinosaur or try to get somewhere else, and it's sneaking up on you is a little bit more, but in the focus of spooky.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I'll try to check it out. All right, let's move on.
Yes.
All right, so let's do the Crypt. So pretty much the Crypt is what films we like to share with people who are listening and also just here at the panel. So I want you to go first since you were like
Yes.
queuing it up. And
I was so excited because I was like, yeah, actually, this film, the one I wanted to recommend is The Limehouse Golem.
oh, that's funny.
And I know, yeah, because we were talking about your movie has a similar
Golem,
word in the
yeah.
title. A funny thing, this one, a year ago, I saw the poster for it in London and wrote it down, and now it's on Amazon Prime, so I finally got to see it.
Oh, nice.
It's very cool. It's not necessarily like amazing.
Okay.
One of the trailer somethings is said kind of like before Jack the Ripper there was the Golem. So, a series of murders have shaken the community to the point where people believe that the legendary creature from dark times, the mythical so-called golem, must be responsible.
Huh.
That's not the best description. I love when you read it and you go, meh. It's more
Disagree.
like
Yeah.
there's murders happening, and Bill Nighy's character is brought in, and he's kind of he's assigned to this case because it's a very difficult case. Something that's interesting about it that I learned later is where was it? There we go. Alan Rickman was originally supposed to be cast as this character, which I would have liked better, but unfortunately, this was when he was starting to be ill and obviously unfortunate demise. But I think Alan Rickman's character would have portrayed some of the obsessions that character has a little bit better. Though I did like Bill Nighy in the role. And then some of the other actors, we have Olivia Cooke, who plays...
Oh, I like Olivia Cooke.
Right, from Ready Player One. And I totally was watching the whole movie going, she looks really familiar.
I like her more in Thoroughbreds, to be honest. But yeah, Ready Player One was...
I haven't seen Thoroughbreds yet.
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, we have Sam Reed, Douglas Booth, Daniel Mays. A couple of these people, like, you'll go like, oh yeah, I recognize them. And there was somebody else I'm like, I can't find their name. But the thing about it that's really cool is there's also the main character, Lizzie, Olivia Cooke, or she's kind of one of the main characters.
Okay.
She's
I'm intrigued.
accused of murdering her husband, and so she's in jail, and then Bill Nighy gets on the case that she's part of as well while these other murders are happening and like wants to help her out. Now, who the killer actually is, you kind of figure out early on, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
That. Okay.
No, you kind of know. Like some people are like, oh, you figure it out really quick.
Oh, okay.
They reveal it nicely.
Ooh.
Like even though you go, oh, it's probably so and so, how it comes about within the film is great because also the detective doesn't know yet. So then it's kind of okay. Yeah. You're not just you're not disappointed because the payoff of it is good.
So it's, even though you know the payoff is good. Gotcha.
The motive and the how is like, oh, cool. And so it's a really great Victorian piece. If you like period piece movies, fantastic. Visually, it's gorgeous. Nice, kind of spooky, and it is a good mystery, even though you maybe will figure out the killer. And if you don't, that's great too. But how they explain it is nice.
Okay.
And then also as the detective is figuring out who it might be is visually kind of cool because he starts like envisioning his suspects saying the lines of this diary they find.
Oh, okay.
So it's cool. And it has some good brutal stuff and just nice and dark. You know, it's a little too warm out for it, but it's like that. It's a good rainy day and dark vibe movie.
So overall, thumbs up.
Overall, definitely a thumbs up.
And it's on Prime, right?
It is on Amazon Prime. The Limehouse Golem.
Right.
Yeah, it's a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. I give it like a good 4 out of 5. Like not like, oh my gosh, rush to see it, but definitely one of those you should check it out.
A 4 out of 5. Okay.
Well,
we're doing a rating system now, huh?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, you're a thumbs up. Yeah, no, it's a thumbs up. It's definitely not a one where I'd be like, meh.
Worth checking out.
Worth checking out.
Especially if you like period pieces.
Oh, yeah. If you're a period piece fan, it was one of those like, oh, it's visually beautiful.
Right
Definitely in that vein of Penny Dreadful and that kind of dark, gothic. We were
From
just
Hell
talking about
kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I think like From Hell I'd put as like a 5. Like that one I was like, that was so good.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
You haven't seen it?
Is that what Johnny Depp, I believe?
No.
I can't remember. Thank you.
I was all Sweeney Todd. I was thinking not Sweeney Todd though, and I was also thinking
Sweeney Todd's also pretty cool.
What's it? Ichabod. The.
No,
we're all blanking.
Crane?
No, the other one where it's the.
Frankenstein? No, I don't know who that is.
Man, I feel a bad horror movie person right now.
All right.
No, there's another one he's in that's. They're all in like that same family.
I can't remember.
You should go watch From Hell.
Okay. And then I'd go to hell. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's a good one. But
all right, let's do this.
Yes, yours, because you have a similar title-ish.
Yes, so for real quick, I just want to preface this. So I'm doing a new thing where pretty much I'm trying to turn my Crypt into also, in a sense, like a history lesson.
Woohoo!
So I don't care. You're going to learn today, all right? Some horror history, HH. So pretty much last week I started us off with The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and this film is also Caligari actually was released in 1919. This was released in 1920. Both films are from Germany. So this film is called The Golem, and it's from Germany. It was directed by Kara Bose and Paul Wegener. It was also written by Henrik Galeen and Paul Wegener. And here's a quick synopsis. So, in 16th century Prague, a rabbi creates the golem, a giant creature made of clay. Using sorcery, he brings the creature to life in order to protect the Jews of Prague from persecution. So, it's a great film. It's older, so you have to be very patient with it. And I want to go into why this film is important to horror history, and it's important because it's part of that same German expressionist movement that started with the Cabinet of Caligari, and it's also one of German expressionism's defining films. And if you watch the Cabinet, then you watch this, and you'll see that because pretty much expressionism depends on their set designs. And so if you can bring up a picture of or showing off just like the set and the buildings, so like the Jewish ghetto in the film is filled with twisty, earthy shapes and interiors that make you think of it makes you think of also womb-like enclosures, and while the Gentile court presented in the film is lavish like a fairy tale, and Gentile means pretty much people who aren't Jewish. And here's another quote that I got from a website. It says, "The tale of the golem was a folk tale that, like many such tales, grew out of the need to address the unspeakable in a manner as dramatic and horrific as the thing itself, for violent anti-Semitism boiled throughout Europe and the Pale in the 1920s." And this film also presents the question of, is this film a sympathetic portrait of the oppression of Jews that they face throughout Europe in crowding of the ghettos and also the twisted lanes and the dark hovels, or is the golem more demented proof of the Jewish necromancy, like another in the line of paranoid fantasies about Jewish spell makings over Gentiles, which again are non-Jewish people. So pretty much it says, is this a case study of like how the Jews were persecuted and how like the Jews from the ghetto had to create this golem to protect themselves from the people oppressing them, or is this like also making or poking or just like representing the Jewish community in a weird light, because most of the Jews in the film are like presented with pointy hats and they look like sorcerers in a sense, and in a sense they look a little mischievous and like, you know, so it's really interesting in that sense. And also what I found interesting as well for this film is that this film actually influenced James Whale's Frankenstein that came about 11 years afterwards in 1931, that both films involve a creature made out of man's volition, as well as the imagery of a little girl presenting a rose to the monster. And that imagery is presented in both films, where there's a little girl like, you know, trying to sympathize with the creature and trying to be like, oh hey, be friends with it. But I know the Frankenstein scene is a bit more morbid in that sense. Yeah. Also, the portrayal of the golem inspired the movements and mannerisms of Boris Karloff's monster in Frankenstein. So, like how Boris Karloff went about, the mannerisms of the Frankenstein's monster, which I thought was interesting as well. Because if you do see the golem, you see that he's very rigid. I mean, like he's made of clay, so he doesn't really have. It looks like he doesn't have joints. It's pretty funny, but like yeah, he's made of clay. He's very rigid, and even Paul Wegener, the director / writer, was the golem himself. And yeah, so that's my Crypt, and that's also the little nice little horror lesson.
Well, also another connection in the Limehouse Golem, they address Jewish community being persecuted. Also, that had some real historical figures, and Karl Marx is one of the characters.
Oh wow!
And so it's historical fiction.
Interesting.
Because they're like a couple people were real.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple people in our live chat. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we have a live chat going. If you're watching it later, comment down below. We got Media Shock, Jay Silver,
I've heard of Media Shock.
Wellington. So Wellington had a question of, don't golems steal your money? And I was looking it up. So golem, via Wikipedia. In Jewish folklore, a golem is an animated anthropomorphic being that is magically created entirely from inanimate matter. The
Like
word,
clay,
word was used to mean an amorphous, unformed matter in Psalms and medieval writing. So, kind of also in magicians, they make a golem, and it's pretty much a a shell of a
Yeah,
person.
I was about to say,
yeah.
It's
And
kind of
so
like
then,
a familiar kind of, in a
Yeah.
sense, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty interesting. And also, interesting. And also, like, the golem is mainly, like, for Jewish folklore as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's part of their history, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then next week, I'll be bringing you another film that is around that same time period that comes next. I believe it's Nosferatu.
nice.
So, yeah.
Now, a couple of these are classic, such that they're easy to find, but you'll have
Yeah.
to let
Oh.
the show know how difficult it is to find some of these.
Thank you for
films.
reminding me. Since it's so old, you can actually find the Golem on YouTube, and they
Oh, cool.
have a free version of it on Amazon. But it's weird because it's like voiced, and it's not supposed to be.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be
'cause,
silent.
yeah, I skimmed through it, and I'm like, huh.
That's odd.
But definitely check out the YouTube one. And there's also one made from 1915. You want to look for the one that's from 1920 because he remade it like a movie about golems. Like he remade 3 of them. 3 movies about golems.
Yeah.
And are you green right now?
Yes, I just looked at my screen and I'm like,
I'm
oh,
sure Steve's
our
trying to
color
fix that or
changed.
something. It's fine.
No, it's cool for a second.
You're hulking
No,
out.
be like, no, really, my hair is blue.
It's all good.
It's okay, dude.
Also, yeah. So thank you for tuning in, all you
Yes, thank
live
you.
viewers. Go ahead and hit that like button, please. We really appreciate that. We appreciate you. As well as if you're listening to this later on a podcast, please give us those 5-star ratings as well on iTunes or wherever you find our podcast on. If you can rate it, please rate it and leave us some feedback there. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we already shouted out some people in the live chat. Thank you for doing that, Carrie. Yeah. Were you
It's still
agree?
blue.
Right.
It's okay.
All right. So let's get it. Let's get into this news now. We got a good
News.
amount of news that I want to get into. Oh, just a quick honorable mention. It was like the 36th anniversary of the thing yesterday, and I want to say, just like, give it its
Again?
oh my, yeah, it's again, yes, because I like
It
it
is
so
your
much.
favorite movie, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, so definitely go watch the movie, you guys. If you haven't seen the thing, oh my
yeah.
god.
And yes, we
there.
are having some fun visual color issues. Wellington says in the chat, I thought my eyes were broken for a second there.
I'm so sorry if you thought that, but that's also pretty funny.
You would be like, whoa,
You're
what
okay.
happened?
You're okay. All right, let's get
Aw,
into
technology and being live.
I know. Welcome
All
to
right,
live
news.
production. All right, let's do this. So, yeah, we got a first look, or a new look, actually, not a first one, but a new look at Nicolas Cage and Mandy, and I am super excited about this movie that's coming out. So, pretty much, the film is being directed by Panos Cosmatos and is an action thriller that's set in 1983. So, yeah, Cage plays a character named Red Miller, a broken, haunted man that is seeking revenge against an uncontrollable cult that kills his lover, and I believe she's played by Andrea Riseborough, and I believe that's her on the right if you're seeing the picture now. So it's supposed to be this super gory and over the top film that's like essential on the violence, I'm sure, because Cage does what he does best, and that's rage. Cage. Yeah, and yeah, it even says that there's a great scene involving Rage Cage and a chainsaw, and I'm like, I'm interested.
You're like, I'm there.
Yeah, there's definitely like a Cage-a-sance going around in like the horror community specifically, which I am totally okay with.
I'm looking up, what was the name of the one where it's like the parents?
Mom and Dad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that looks so awesome. I love that concept.
So yeah. Also, if you haven't seen that, I personally haven't seen it yet, but I have been meaning to check that out as well. But for Mandy, it's actually this film is set to drop on September 14th, and it will be a limited release in theaters, but it'll also be on VOD on the same time. So pick your poison, pretty much. Also, what I wanted to mention is that the trailer for this movie is actually dropping tomorrow.
Woo!
Those scumbags, but that's okay. They just don't know that our show happens today, you know? They didn't
get the memo.
They didn't get the memo. I forgot to send it. My bad.
And shout out to Panos Cosmatos for doing, he directed Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh, another film I've been wanting to get around to.
I highly recommend it, you guys.
I always see pictures. Thank you so much, Steve, for that. I always see pictures of that movie, and I haven't seen it. If you've seen Beyond the Black Rainbow,
Correct. Beyond the Black Rainbow.
yeah, check. Let us know what you think about it. What are some highlights you like? But don't spoil anything, because I'll come after you. But yeah, so the trailer's set to drop tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So I'm definitely gonna try to tweet it out. So if you follow us on HorrorNewsPTN, you'll see it there, because I am so pumped for this movie. I'm down for it. Have you heard anything about this movie at all? Or no?
No.
Yeah, it was making some commotion in this one festival
Cool.
a couple of months ago, I believe. And that's when I first learned about it. And I was like, I'm
Nice.
down for it. Yeah.
But that's why I love this show, because you learn about movies you might not know about.
There
so
you
it's
go. Yeah,
fun.
I just want to learn you. I want to learn you all these horror movies you might not know about. And that face is so creepy too. She did a great job on that.
Yes.
And then just like that, like the tone that the imagery invokes, it's red, it's full of blood and just dark. Whew. All right, let's move on. So this is just a quick little bit. Pretty much the possibility of a Get Out sequel. Is it necessary? I don't think so. Is there another story to tell there that might have the same effect as the first one? Possibly.
It'd have to be different people, though.
It'd have to be a
Different family, different state,
completely
somewhere
different. Yeah,
else.
I totally agree with you.
Maybe.
But this is so. So Jordan Peele has been like playing with the idea of of a sequel, and I believe just this past February he was quoted seriously considering it, unquote. And I was like, okay. Well, this past week, Jason Blum was in an interview with Variety, and he's totally in for a sequel. But there's one major exception, and this is a quote from that interview. Jason Blum said, "If Jordan wants to do a sequel, I'll do it in a second, but it has to come from Jordan Peele.
Agreed.
I think he's flirting with the idea," unquote. So it was a huge success. I just I don't know. I don't know
I'd
how
be
I
more
feel about it.
curious of like, all right, what do you? I'd want to see what he comes up with, but I feel it's good the way it is. Like you
'Cause
don't need to.
It'd have to be a different like commentary on like social issues.
Yes.
And I don't know what else he'd wanna tackle on. And on top of that, he's also creating the other horror film, Us, I believe. That's set to come out next year.
Oh, Wellington in the chat says, "I'm in the minority. I found Get Out just an okay movie."
Okay. That's fine.
That's totally fine. We've talked about that on the show too. You should go watch our discussion of Hereditary.
Yeah.
So that's I
Fists
didn't
were
feel.
thrown. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Gloves came off.
Yeah.
I felt personally for Get Out, I thought it was really cool and a lot about it was amazing. But as just like a moviegoer, I wasn't blown away because there's another movie out there, Skeleton Key, who has the same plot. So I was like, I knew where it was coming, but being more of a social issue film
Exactly.
was great. That's what made it stand out.
That's where the charm comes from
Yeah.
this movie. It's like what the message that it's saying about how I believe for the most part it's like how liberal racism can be just as like not crucial, but like just as harming as like blatant racism in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think it just had a really great message that America needed, and
Well,
a lot of
horror-
people picked up on it.
Horror is a great way to get social issues across. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like, here's this metaphor that's
Exactly.
not really that even veiled. Media Shock in the chat says Blumhouse is on fire right now.
Oh my god! And I want to be on fire
Stoke
with
that
them.
fire.
No, I want to
Keep it going.
jump in.
Yeah.
I want to work for them. I want
Yeah,
to
please,
jump in and
please.
just be lit.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen their rise to fame, and I've had so much respect for Jason Blum and what he's been able to make and create. He's a fantastic, just a fantastic gentleman, and I really love what he's doing, giving these little features like
Yeah.
a chance to play with the big dogs, and
Yeah.
look at it, like he got an Oscar win.
Jay Silver
Or a
in the
nom? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jay Silver in the chat says, I think Get Out was a great movie, but an okay horror movie. It definitely has a lot to say about society, but that's it. It isn't a bad thing. That's a good point. Like,
I
as
agree,
a
yeah.
great movie, horror movie,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But then we're also the people that love horror.
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
want something maybe different from it.
It's definitely like pretty softcore horror, like at least for me, you
Yeah.
know, like because like Hereditary is like fucking hardcore, and then this is like
Ish.
soft. I mean,
No,
depends on what you like.
well,
I'm more
different, yeah.
psychological. I'm in my head all the time, so
Yeah.
like the thoughts that I like you think about,
Psychological
yeah,
horror.
it just
That's-
like
Yeah.
yeah. anyways.
Well, that's why there's so many subgenres and subgenres of horror.
Oh my
so
god, countless.
something for everybody.
Oh, I should have put it in the news. Remember there's guys. All right, so this guy created a online horror movie
Yes.
database.
It's on our Twitter.
It's
Go
yeah,
check it
I
out.
believe
You
yeah, we
linked
tweeted it out.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so if you can just like look us up on Twitter, you don't need an account. Just look at our page and you'll be able to find it. I believe I tweeted it out last week. But yeah, it was pretty fascinating because it's just
It's IMDb of horror.
yeah, exactly. Like, and it breaks down horror movies into all of the subcategories, and also like, once you click on a movie, it tells you what subcategories it falls into, like haunted house, like creepy old lady, or creepy son, or like just the little niche like horror movies that are out there. It's like it's really brilliant.
Yes.
Ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay. Remember The Babysitter?
Yeah.
I love that movie. So the director
Those
McG.
books too.
No, what?
The Babysitter? Yeah.
No, The Babysitter, the horror movie.
Oh, I'm thinking. I'm like, there's a thing with that. The Netflix one.
Yes.
Yes, love
yeah,
that
with
movie.
Samara Weaving.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She was great.
She was fantastic, and she's so hot too. So McG directed that, and we got word of his next film. It's called Rim of the World. And so pretty much he's teaming up again with Netflix, and it's called Rim of the World, and it's an alien invasion movie, and so far all we have really is a synopsis. So Zach Stentz wrote the script which follows four misfit teenagers who become unlikely allies when their summer camp experience is cut short by an alien invasion. In this epic adventure film, the youths must overcome their fears, tackle insecurities, and learn to work as a team while they attempt to save the world.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds great. Yeah, it's definitely it's still in the same vein of The Babysitter, where it's like still teenagers. They're still it's a group of teenagers, but it sounds more of like in a sense coming of age during this alien invasion, because it does specifically say tackle insecurities, overcome their fear, and learn to work together as a team. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm all for it. I personally really enjoyed The Babysitter. I thought it was one of the greatest things I saw last year.
We raved about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
'cause
was-
it's just very like that's a horror I really enjoy too. It's just the comedy horror, and it's very self-aware.
Yeah,
like
and
they make fun of itself, and it has good scares in it.
And the gore is just like,
Good.
whoa, like it's really
Yes.
ugh.
Oh my gosh. Actually,
God.
I feel bad to say this now that I forgot. I did see another movie, and I tweeted you about it. I finally saw Turbo Kid. Speaking of gore.
Oh my god, Turbo Kid's so good.
I know we're kind of past Ibis and Crypt, but that's okay. Go watch Turbo Kid. It's on.
When I saw it, was on Netflix, but I'm not
It's
sure
either
anymore.
on Netflix or Amazon. It's on one of the streaming services.
Rent it on Amazon if you can.
Amazing practical effects. It's so fun because everything's so practical.
It's so over the top.
But that's what's amazing about it because it's
Michael
so funny.
Ironside.
And Michael Ironside,
Yeah,
and he's a badass in it.
It's 3 directors, RKS, I forget, I'm blanking on their abbreviation. I think it's RKSS.
I believe it's RKSS. I'll double check right
And
now.
all 3 of them are in the film too. And you didn't reply
Really?
back. Did you know that all 3 of them are in the movie?
I had no idea.
The woman, it's a brother, sister, and a husband. And so the brother
What?
is the bald dude who gets like his face destroyed. He's like the super, super bald guy.
Yeah.
And I think he almost looks like he doesn't have eyebrows in that shot.
my
And then the
God.
sister is the mom.
Uh-huh.
And her husband is the dad.
Of Turbo Kid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I'm like, that's
I
so
love that so
cool.
much.
Oh, and I love Apple so
Oh
much.
my gosh, she's so
So
cool.
funny. So her facial reactions were amazing.
Hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, go watch Turbo Kid. It's very fun, and just know it's very over the top. But they know it is,
But
which is
yeah.
what's great about it. And it's kind of post-apocalyptic vibe, great violence.
Mm-hmm.
Not scary, but it's more the post-apocalyptic Mad Maxy vibe
Yeah.
and gore.
Definitely worth checking
And
out.
a little bit of sci-fi.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right, so let's get back into our news here.
Yes.
So, real quick, Linda Hamilton is back for, so pretty much James Cameron got the rights back to Terminator, and he's retconning everything after T2, and so he's making his own
Sure.
T3, pretty much. So it's like James Cameron's Terminator 3, and he's got Deadpool's Tim Miller to direct it. On top of that, Linda Hamilton will be reprising her iconic role as Sarah Connor, and I believe the picture's up now, so that's her looking badass in a
I know. I was like, dude, those
in
guns.
in a bulletproof vest and everything.
Yeah.
So pretty much.
Blonde, yeah. She looks more blonde here than normally. She's a little more brunette.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good catch. I didn't notice that. I don't listen. I should pay attention to women's hair. When did you change your hair? Never mind.
I know we need to change our icon. Now.
Right.
Yeah.
So director, we have Tim Miller. Writer, David Goyer, who wrote, I believe, The Dark Knight. Steve.
You are correct, senor.
Thank you. And it is starring Linda Hamilton, Mackenzie Davis, and it is said that they found a Terminator in Gabriel Luna, who played Ghost Rider in ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, nice.
Yes, Arnold
was
Schwarzenegger's
cool.
coming
I liked
back,
him.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming back as well. And they also have Natalia Reyes and Diego Boneta. And yeah, so it's set to release November 22nd, 2019. And Steve pointed out that at the end of T2, she's heading south of the border to Mexico to avoid the catastrophe and everything. So that's why I'm like seeing all these Spanish names: Natalia Reyes, Diego Boneta, Gabriel Luna. I'm like, okay, so the Terminator is gonna be a Mexican.
So,
Look forward to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question because Halloween did it too. Now, what do we think of the original content creators going, hey, all those sequels, we're going to rewind, make one, and pretend those don't exist? I don't mind if
They were
the original
god-awful.
people,
They
like
were
the original
really bad.
people go, oh, we want to redo it, which is cool to revisit it instead. Because, you know, we have too many remakes.
Right,
Let us
reboots
know
and-
your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think it's cool if the original people are like, I want to redo that over. And this is our new vision. Let's
Right.
pretend those others didn't
So
exist.
that's like a do-over.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's like
They get more money. Maybe they have new funding. They had got a better story by now, different actors, and so now they can revisit it and make the thing they really wanted to do.
Like in general, right?
Yeah, in general,
Okay.
because Halloween's doing it where they
'Cause,
go,
yeah.
let's forget this,
'Cause
and
of
now
us-
this with Terminator, where they're like, yeah, let's forget the other bits didn't happen.
Yeah, from the original,
Sure.
James Cameron's in, Linda Hamilton's in, Schwarzenegger,
Mm-hmm.
of course he's in. Like, so like I'm here for it. I'm down to
Yes.
see a James Cameron produced Terminator next year.
Wellington in the chat says, I'm so ready to see Sarah Connor back kicking metal ass.
There you
Agreed.
go. Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty metal. All right. And the last story we have for today is I don't know when it happened. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. But the Looters Club adult casting has been completed, and I just want to do a quick rundown of like what's good, who we got. So let's start off with our first one here. So this is the character of Bill Denborough, and the kid actor was Jaden Lieber, and for adult is my boy James McAvoy. I love
like
James
this choice.
McAvoy.
I like James. I like him a lot. I'm like, I can't even say his name. It's cool when I love these side by sides
Yes,
to see
to
like
compare.
you go, yeah.
I can
Sometimes
totally
when
see
they
it.
do older, younger, you go, no.
And I wonder if
At least
he's
you
gonna
go,
have the stutter
yeah.
too, because like remember he like the original had
you know
the
what
stutter.
It is? It'd be great if he doesn't have it all until he's like really in a bad place or something,
Yeah.
and then that comes out.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's how it happens
Yeah.
in the like once he starts seeing more visions of
Yes.
like Pennywise, he starts like he starts like
Yeah.
really getting into it. So that's our first one,
Dig
and
that
I'm already
choice.
like, yes, I love James
Yes.
McAvoy. Second one here, this is also a really good one. So this is
Yeah.
the character of Ben Hanscom, and as the kid was played by Jeremy Ray Taylor, and the adult is played by Jay Ryan. And just look, that's so uncanny. Like, that's so ridiculous.
Well, because it's one of those like he glammed up as they say, but it still is a little soft.
You
that
know,
go,
yeah. He grows up to be a super successful architect and also like a very suave, handsome
he's
looking man.
handsome.
Because
When they get their reunion, the girls will be like, hey.
yeah, because there's a whole triangle with our next
Yeah.
character, Beverly Marsh, right? Mm-hmm. Beverly Marsh, the kid actor, was Sophia Lillis.
She was great.
And for an adult, Jessica Chastain.
Which we talked about that way back
Way
when.
back
and we're like,
when
that'd be cool. And
Jessica
bam.
Chastain was
Yes.
perfect for that role. And so yeah, so the first three characters do have a whole like love triangle thing
Yeah.
going on. So, but look, just can we go back to Jay Ryan real quick? The previous, look at that.
I think I'd pick that one.
James, I'm sorry, James, but
I know,
you're
I'm
not.
like,
You
oh,
don't stand a
James McAvoy, I'm
chance.
like,
Jessica
yeah.
Chastain's gonna get up on that.
Yes.
And he also has like that whole like the card where he wrote like that little poem and thing. So that's gonna come back. That's definitely gonna win her heart. But like she thinks it was Bill
Yeah.
who sent it.
Yeah.
All right, and next one also gets me pretty excited. So Richie
Yes,
Trashmouth
yeah.
Tozer. It was played by what is it? Stranger Things alum. What's his name? Finn Wolfhard. Stranger Things alum Finn Wolfhard, and is being played by Bill Hader. And I could not be more excited about him because Bill
he's
Hader's
always a jokester,
fantastic.
yeah.
Exactly. And him on a
Saying
horror
stupid
movie.
stuff, yeah.
I want to see how good he is, like acting scared. Like if he can make me scared, you know, like.
Well, sometimes people at comedy, are great
Yeah,
in horror because comedy, you have to think faster and smarter to make something funny.
Right.
It's almost more work.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen him do serious acting. Like he played a homosexual twin in the Skeleton Twins along with Kristen Wiig, and he was phenomenal in that, and I really loved him in that. So I'm so super excited to have Bill Hader in this. I did not see that coming, and it's also they look alike, so it's pretty cool. Let's move on to the next one. Is I believe Eddie Kazbrak, and the kid was played by Jack Dylan Grazer, and the adult is played by James Ransone. And this is also very on the nose with the the adult actor.
There we go. At first, I
Yeah.
was having a little trouble recognizing on left. I'm like,
Yeah, the
is this
screen's
the
a
one
little
like
dark.
always sick and
Yeah,
taking his pills? Yes.
what do they call him? The something phobe, I forgot.
He's a hypochondriac.
Hypochondriacs, yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
He glammed up too.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And then next one we have is Mike Hanlon.
Or no, I think it's glowed up because it's not you grow up, you glow up. Have you heard this? This is on Twitter. Like
No.
they had pictures.
What?
The idea is like you were not really that cute of a kid or something, and now you look great. So instead of growing up, you glowed up because you look greater. Yes, there we go. Sparkles. So a lot of these kids, I'm like, oh, you were cute then, but you glowed up.
That's so funny. All right, let's move on to our next one.
Yes.
So 6 out of 7. We have Mike Hanlon, and so as a kid, it was played by Chosen Jacobs, and for an adult, it's gonna be Isaiah Mustafa. And if you remember Isaiah Mustafa, I believe he was on the Freeform show. I can't remember which one exactly, but most people will recognize him. Although I heard that he doesn't like this, but he's the Old Spice guy. I'm on a horse. It's him, and I'm glad that he's on
Well, because I bet people make jokes about it all the time.
Oh,
They're
I'm
over it.
sure. Yeah, he's totally so over it. But yeah,
Do we have the one of the bad guy too? I saw a photo of that. Did we tweet that? I know I saw
Of
somebody else.
Pennywise?
No, the bully kid.
Oh no, I didn't see that. I didn't know that.
Damn nabbit, who
Oh,
was that?
well, let's move
I'm
on to
gonna
the
look it
next
up.
one. Yeah, while you look it up. So the last member of the Losers Club. I gotta take a deep sigh on this one. Stanley Uris, played by Wyatt Oleff, and I never noticed this too, but like in that picture next to Wyatt, you can see Pennywise to the left of him, and on the right, as an adult, it's Andy Bean. But unfortunately, I don't know if I want to say it. Let's just say he doesn't make it back to Derry. He's not gonna make it back to Derry. Something happens to him. If you've seen the original, then you don't know what's up. You know what this
It's been a
what
while,
happens to
but
this
yeah.
character.
Oh, there we go.
Do they
Tech
have
Grant?
Ted Grant?
That
Ted?
one. Teach?
Teach Grant is
Yes.
the
For Henry
the
Bowers.
actor for Henry Bowers. Okay, so yeah,
Which-
you can Google him real quick and you
Yeah.
see a picture of him.
That one I go, yeah. Like they're side by side.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Michael J. Fox for some reason
Huh, in that picture.
in that picture. Yeah,
Yes.
right on. So that's our Losers Club adults and child casting. So that's
Yes.
pretty cool. I am super excited. McAvoy, Hader, Chastain. Oh my God, I can't wait. And so Steve, do we have more time? How much time do we have left? Because I want to get into some trailers now.
Well, let's. I was going to
Alright.
say we can mention what they are, our quick thoughts, and tell people to go look them up.
True. Okay, I do want to show one at least.
Okay.
Because this movie's actually coming out this Friday on. Okay, so we'll show two then. So this trailer actually is being released on Friday on VOD. It's called The Domestics, and if you want to just start playing that that trailer, Steve, and I'll talk over it here.
Than everything we thought we knew.
So it's got like a that looks very-
Post-apocalyptic vibe there
yeah,
too.
don't be deterred by the CGI in the opening shot. That's because it's pretty
Actually,
bad.
it was making me think a little bit of The Road meets The Purge.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a getting somewhere from point A to point B kind of movie. And it's pretty much the story is set in a post-apocalyptic world inhabited by murderous gangs divided into deadly factions as Bothworth and Hodgkin's characters race desperately across a lawless countryside in search of safety. So they have all these different types of gangs, and they're gonna do like this cross-country like trip, and they have to traverse these gang territories, and it looks awesome. Like here's a breakdown of the gangs, I believe. Oh man.
We should stay off the roads.
Stay off the roads. Oh, I think they already did the breakdown of the gangs.
I think they did.
Okay, yeah. So you
It's
see
like
all
Turbo
the.
Crid, don't cross the line. And they gotta go right through it all.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's so funny, actually. Yeah, I like it because I personally loved Mad Max Fury Road, and
Well, no, The Road. Did you see The Road?
no, I was talking Mad Max
Oh.
Fury Road, but I've also seen The Road. But
Yeah.
The Road is very like solemn and like grim and
That's what, like
Yeah.
the look of it and going into the houses.
Yeah.
I actually didn't watch that one because I read the book and I was like, it's so heavy, I don't need to watch it. But this looks so cool and I'm excited.
And also, I love how like it's in such an urban like setting, you know. It's like
Yeah.
in a neighborhood, and like there's like murderous apocalyptic gangs outside, and you're just like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Definitely worth the watch. I'm probably gonna try and catch that as well because I would like to talk about it, see if it's any good. Because I like Mad Max and I like this. I like people surviving. And then yeah, so the next big trailer is our spine ripping alien. So we got a new
Predator.
trailer, yeah, for the Predator. So let's let it ride. And I gotta say, this trailer makes me way more excited than the first thing that they showed us.
I think I was excited with the first one enough.
I
but
was
this
not.
Is, you're like,
I was like,
eh.
nope.
Do you know what my job description is?
But this makes me pumped. And I love Charles K. Brown. I love he's coming up in the game. Olivia Munn's cool too. And then we have a Keegan as well. It's so dark. I wish this TV was better. Oh, that sound.
Clicking. I like the word, like their face, the mandibles.
Oh, I know.
That's such a funny word. I don't know why, it just sounds funny.
Mandibles. Also, like how they changed like the 20th Century Fox into like the whole heat
The
vision.
heat,
Yeah, I was
yes.
just like, that's such a nice touch.
Nobody wants any witnesses.
Dun, dun,
So these are like
dun.
super commandos,
They're rangers.
rangers. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rangers.
Oh, there it is.
There's
Some
the
sort of
line.
Suicide Squad. I'm just kidding.
Were a video game to be rated E for everyone.
That
Hey,
was so
that's
funny.
so good. I
was
love
like,
that.
that's a good one.
That delivery is fantastic.
Fucking point.
And there's cursing in the trailer.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
I like the violence in action.
Yeah,
I'm
the
excited.
violence looks so cool. Oh yeah, the countdown.
Sit around making paths out of good kids. They conquered space.
I gotta say this works on me. What's the chat saying?
They're not Predator yet. They're just saying already. Media shock. Thank you. They said awesome show, guys. Definitely will flag for next time.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, on YouTube now it's easier to set like a notification for yourself that a video is going to come out.
Oh, cool.
It's
That's
much
good to
easier.
hear. Right on. And I'm just gonna start
yeah.
talking about the other two trailers that I wanted to go over
Go
as well.
look them up.
There's one that I thought was pretty funny. It's also in the same vein as Mayhem. It's called
Very much
Office
so.
Uprising.
Just more like goofy.
Goofier. It's a lot more goofier. It's not as serious as like Mayhem, but it's literally like another tower, kind of like a tower film. It takes place in the office building, and things go crazy. And also the other one I want you guys to check out, it's called the Night Eats the World trailer. So just look that up, zombie flick in Europe. It looks very interesting.
Looks cool.
I'm going faster because we got a wrap, and just some quick fan shout outs, just people in the chat.
Thank you again, Media Shock, Wellington, Smithopolis, Posh Smasher, Cut of Shazam Now. And then we had Jay, I think it was Jay Silver. There we go. And thank you very much for watching live. And if you didn't catch us live, that's totally cool. You can comment down below.
Yeah, and put yourself over.
Yes, and you guys can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And tune in about an hour. We're doing anime, AfterBuzz anime reviews. We're talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Part 5. Right
on. And I am your host, Anthony Becerra. You can find me everywhere at TonyBTony_. Again, TonyBTony_. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, try to watch The Domestics. I was like, what's that film called again?
Like that one.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And also try to catch Nosferatu, the old film. I'm going to be talking about that later on as well. And yeah, peace out. Catch you later.
Thanks
until
for
next
watching.
week.
See ya.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.